And so maybe talk a little bit about NSL in terms of what you guys do and what you specifically do. I mean, you have a like material testing isn't unique to
Right.
3D printing, and I know with their additive manufacturing. And for those who are listening, Ed Herderick is the Ed we're talking about, podcast guest somewhere in the 80s or 90s, I think. But and I don't know if I don't think he was at NSL at the time. I'd have to go back in terms of and listen to when he was there, but maybe just a broad description of what NSL is, um, and then we can kind of dive into some of the specifics there.
Sounds great. Yeah. So NSL Analytical, we're a third party testing lab accredited through ANAB, NADCAP, and ISO. So those will make sense to anyone who's in the manufacturing industry. They might not make sense to other people, but what those are, they're certifying bodies where anyone who makes something uh, that has material require or property requirements needs to get those analyzed by not only a third party entity, but a third party entity who knows what they're doing. And that's where the accreditation stand in, right? We know what we're doing. And so our processes are rigorously audited, and we have expert technicians and expert scientists and chemists who test materials in all stages of their life: raw material, final products, preform products, everything. And we provide those results and make sure that what's being produced is being produced right and in the right way. And we provide that kind of support, failure analysis support, consulting support to all of our customers. Um, and Ed Ed Herderick and my charge, as both of us have been hired in the last year, is to bring some research and development to the table. So with my background in alloy development and in kind of advanced testing techniques, we're gonna start bringing that into a more accredited and controlled light. And it's going to be a bit of a walk, but I think that we're capable of doing it here.
And is that
Yeah.
specific to 3D printing? I mean, there's a lot of testing going on in 3D printing, but that's not necessarily all of the materials
Right.
world.
And as 3D printing is a significant component to what we're here to develop for, because you know as I mean, I'm sure you have probably had guests on here who talk about the qualification of 3D printed components. It's not an it's not a trivial question to say, how do we know that our 3D printing processes are reliable, and how can we prove that they're reliable? Um, because who knows? You buy powder from a slightly different supplier, and maybe the chemistry is ever so slightly different, and then your parameters are not quite as effective as you expect them to be, and it cascades. And so having that reliability is critical to the production of parts that are going to go into consumers' hands, be it spaceships, cars, or phones. Like that, we need to know that our materials are reliable, and what we're producing is reliable, and that's a huge part of the AM industry at this moment. I don't think I need to tell you that.
Be sure to check out our website, www.3degreescompany.com, for more content.